To hook a rough guy who hunts and chops wood on the outskirts, I specifically changed into coarse linen clothes and set up a tea stall there. How could a young lady be out here doing such rough work? My family fell on hard times. What about you? Say me here. So poor we can't even afford a meal. How dare you commoners resist the law? Do you have a warrant? What warrant could you possibly need? Is my word not enough? What truly poor person wouldn't complain about that? It is quite good. Who would have thought? The poor hunter I spent 3 months chasing was actually the crown prince. Not only that, these poor neighbors kneeling on the ground, not a single one of them is actually poor. And all of this started with a bowl of tea 3 months ago. I want to find a simple rough man, far away from the scheming of the imperial court. Why have you practiced 3 times, and you still have that delicate look of a noble daughter? Miss, you aren't going to live like a poor person. You're clearly just going to experience it for fun. Ahem. This girl's fingers are so delicate. They don't look like they do rough work. Forget it. Why think so much? Shen Xiaoli, you are a poor person. You are a poor person. That's the one. A poor handsome guy won't have any hidden agendas. The perfect hunter brother. Have a bowl of tea, no charge. The young lady's tea is interesting. He complimented me. A poor handsome, rough guy who also knows how to appreciate tea. Isn't that just too perfect? The way he holds that teacup is clearly the etiquette of the palace. 2 coins a pair, they never wear out. The neighbors are all honest folk. The girl's complexion isn't good. Stagnant liver energy. You know how to practice medicine too? Just a worthless ancestral folk remedy. A hidden master among the commoners. Ah, I misheard you. I thought a donkey had run off. That sword-drawing stance of his looks just like a commoner's. Miss Shen, don't you find it strange? I've been wearing the straw sandals that Brother Gifu next door wove. They're indestructible. Isn't it a loss to sell them for only 2 coins? Maybe he is just skilled. But how can straw sandals be woven like armor? It is bizarre. My father was a poor scholar. My mother was a village seamstress. I'm the only one left in my poor family. My old man was a hunter. Mother passed away early. When I was little, there was no charcoal in winter. I couldn't sleep from the cold. Sigh, when I was a kid, I didn't even have a quilt to sleep under. You've suffered. A daughter of a minister, and the crown prince, actually here putting on such a pathetic act. What are you two talking about? So sad. Haha, just chatting about the hard times when we were little. To be honest, neither of you looks like someone who has known real hardship. How so? Your hands are even more delicate than my daughter's. That is because I wash tea bowls all day long. Sigh. Be more careful in the future. Thank goodness I wasn't found out. But playing at being poor with him, it doesn't feel half bad. These 2 little ones are quite the actors. I, an old woman, have checked both their pulses. That pulse is not something a poor family could produce. After 3 days of wear, There is not a single sign of fraying. This weaving technique is seamless. It doesn't look like any folk craft I've ever seen. Brother Gu, where did you learn this technique? Oh no, the secret knotting technique for binding armor in the Northern Frontier Army. She actually figured it out. Heh, it is a family secret. Brother Hunter is so knowledgeable. You must be able to see the trick to these shoes. This is the secret knotting technique for binding armor in the Northern Frontier Army. It is quite sturdy and well made. It is just too ugly. Why do you think Brother Gu didn't make them look a bit nicer? Maybe he just has poor taste. Oh, I'm just clumsy. Don't come bumping into me. That fake fall was a bit too poorly acted. Is that all they teach in the Northern Frontier Army? Brother Guy, how are you so quick when it comes to fighting? I got into fights when I was a kid, just some street brawling. That street brawling is a bit too wild. Strange. Recording 3-cent radishes as 30 cents. This ledger is a complete mess. Hey shopkeeper, Lin, your ledger is, oh my. Young lady, you're literate? My brain just isn't working right today. Shopkeeper Lin, the ledger is sorted. I'll head back to the tea stall now. The shipping lifelines of 6 provinces are at my fingertips. Jiangnian rice prices are up 3 mils this season. The loading ratio for the Southern Fleet needs adjustment. However, the black market for salt and iron in the suburbs has seen abnormal price fluctuations. It is a bit suspicious. I'll have my secret agents look into it. Haha. Brother Aching. The fire starter is 2 cents. Standard court etiquette. A mute firewood seller bowing. More standard than a Ministry of Rights official. This street is interesting. Back then I didn't know that everyone on this street thought everyone else was interesting. But no one spoke up first. It is all my fault for not taking better care of him. He got such a bad injury just from hunting. Let me see. You young people have strong bodies. The wound isn't deep. My ancestral acupuncture stops bleeding fast. This technique, the Imperial Hospital used it on me before. It is exactly the same. There, it'll be healed in 3 days. Grandma, this technique is quite similar to the Imperial Hospitals. The Imperial Hospitals is similar to mine. This has been in my family for 3 generations. Who knows? Maybe those people in the Imperial Hospital learned it from my family. Grandma Su is truly amazing. A hidden master among the common folk. A hidden master among the common folk. This hunter's pulse. Nourished by Longjing Snow Bud Tea. Hardly the pulse of a mountain hunter. And that girl's orchid finger gesture while slicing tea cakes. Along with the imperial pulse on this hunter. This street is truly a fascinating place. Abba, Abba, Abba. You stupid donkey. If I weren't trying to hide my identity from the Dali Temple, I would have drawn my sword and shaved your fur off. Eat, eat, eat. All you know is how to eat. Officer Shu, there is a new lead on the smuggling case. A wealthy gentleman named Qian Youde in the outskirts is using a transit route for salt and iron smuggling. That might pass through the street where you live. Keep a close watch. I need the complete chain of trade. Abba, 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 Abba. Sai, forget it. Forget it. Even a donkey has to eat. Oh no. You're still in the hidden compartment. You keep this donkey quite well. Its coat is so sleek and shiny. That was close. Almost ruined everything. A poor woodcutter who can't speak. Yet his donkey is more spirited than a rich man's horse. How strange. It is too expensive. Poor folks like us can't afford it. This cloud brocade is so lustrous and smooth. If I made a robe out of this for him, it would look absolutely magnificent. We aren't buying it. There is no need. Pretend to be poor for now to keep him off guard. I'll sneak back later and buy it. With this, it will be much easier for him to hunt. Brother Hunter, where did you get so much silver? I've been saving for 3 years. Where did you go just now? I went to the outhouse. Ha ha ha, I went to look at the flowers by the road. He is definitely lying, but never mind. I'm lying myself too. Hey. You. Hehe, this is what I've saved over a year. You earned all this in a year from your tea stall? I've never even stepped foot in a kitchen since I was a child. Acting poor is so incredibly difficult. Let me do it. So handsome. It is one thing to be handsome while chopping wood. But how can he look so good while cooking? You, how do you know how to make this? Squirrel-shaped mandarin fish is a famous palace banquet dish. I wasn't paying attention and used the techniques of a royal chef. You have to learn everything when you live in the mountains. My master taught me. Your master is truly impressive. When a person is poor, they really do have to learn everything. It is not easy for everyone to pretend to be poor. Haha. I'm so happy today. The fish he made was so delicious. Even though he is poor, he treats me so well. The way these two walk. This isn't just moving bricks. This is clearly marching. Brother Giyu, you're quite strong. Brother Xiao isn't bad either. Let's go get some tea. The straw sandal business isn't doing well. The weaving method in the north is sturdier. There is less game in the mountains this year. The blades here in the capital are pretty good too. What are you two talking about? I don't really understand. It is nothing. Miss Shen, don't you find it strange? When Brother Xiao and Brother Jiyu were moving the millstone, their steps were exactly the same, just like a military parade. No way, uncle. You have too much imagination. Maybe, it is just strange. With this money I exchanged, I can finally buy her something decent. I found this by the road. It is not worth much, but here. He actually brought me a gift. This poor hunter is truly clever and dexterous. It is carved so exquisitely. This peach blossom carving is clearly a simplified version of imperial jade carving. It is impossible for this to exist among the common folk. He has such good taste. The more I look at this wooden hairpin, the more I like it. So, her smile is even more beautiful than the peach blossoms on the mountain. Is it pretty? It is quite nice. It is beautiful. If this broken tea stall keeps leaking, we might as well change businesses and sell water. Miss Shen, Brother Gu and I are here to help you fix the roof. Why did you come out in such heavy rain? Brother Gi, you're really agile. I've been making straw sandals for years, so I'm used to squatting. Pass the materials up, side stacking and loading. I said side stacking and loading. It just means stacking things while loading them. It is a local dialect from back home. It just so happens there is an extra tarp in the shop. Use it to keep the rain off, to prevent catching a cold, and to boost your energy and blood. This recipe of mine is a top secret formula from the Imperial Hospital. Why is everyone around here so strange? Oh well, good neighbors are good neighbors. This is the life I've always wanted. Haha. What is wrong? Nothing. I'm just counting the tea leaves. The way she focuses on making tea is kind of cute. Sigh. Are you all right? I'm fine. I misjudged. She keeps sneaking glances at me while pouring the tea. She thinks I don't notice. But I've been sneaking glances at her too. I found it by the side of the road. I thought you might find it useful. Where did you find it? By the entrance of a pawn shop. I found it in the mountains while hunting deer. I don't know who dropped it. It feels so high quality. It must have been dropped by some wealthy person. This knife and this fabric, where would these two paupers get such treasures? One of you found it by the road, the other found it in the mountains. Well, that road and that mountain must be worth a fortune. Tell me where they are next time. I want to go find some treasures too. Two people pretending to be poor, exchanging gifts far beyond their means, and then pretending they just found them. This is our own version of poor person flexing. What are you looking at? It is nothing, just a blade of grass on my shoe. How was it in the mountains this time? Not bad, I hunted 2 rabbits. Was the road easy to travel? Well, it is a mountain path. Muddy? No mud at all. Just a bit of fine gray dust. Who exactly is he? If he isn't just a poor hunter, then why is he pretending to be poor here? No, that is impossible. Since, when does a crown prince go around calling people brother? I'm not the only one on this street putting on an act. The way the eldest daughter of the Shen family holds her fingers while cutting tea cakes. I noticed it on the very first day. But her tea is truly excellent. We're imposing a sanitation tax. How dare you? That tone, that presence. That is the way a noble lady scolds her servants. I mean, it is not right to impose such a tax. The look in this hunter's eyes. Why does he look like that official I saw at the magistrate's office? Officer. There should be proper procedures for collecting taxes. Oh no, I just said how dare you. You didn't say that, I did. My throat was just feeling a bit off. You sound strange. I was just excited. It was a slip of the tongue. Ha, ha ha ha. Oh. You two youngsters. One has a sore throat. The other has a slip of the tongue. It is over. It is all over. The jig is completely up now. Come, let me write you a prescription. Master Qian has his eyes on the land on this street. You have 3 days to move out. I'll give you 50 coins for this rundown tea stall at most. Ha ha ha. This shop was passed down to me by my father. What is 50 coins supposed to do? Hemp, a poor wretch with a sharp tongue. No, I can't blow my cover here. Shen Xiaoli, you must hold it together. You're asking for it. I'm just a poor hunter and I can't beat you all. But you can't tear down this girl's tea stall. Ha ha ha. A poor hunter dares to talk back. See you in 3 days. Hemp. He is the only truly ordinary person on this street. To him, this is his entire livelihood. Everyone, let's think of a solution. In my opinion, we should just attack. Or we could pay off the local officials. We could report them to the authorities. Reporting them is useless, unless we know someone in high office. Sigh. True. Let's pool our money and find someone to help. I have a distant relative who works in the capital. I can write him a letter. Ha 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 ha. Didn't you say you were illiterate? I'll dictate, and you write it down. Blah blah blah. The shop my father passed down to me. What should I do? I could solve this problem. But I cannot reveal my identity. At that moment, the 6 people capable of changing everything all chose to remain silent. Only Uncle Wang was truly powerless. I'm going into the mountains for a few days to check on my traps. Be very careful. Come back soon. Ah ha ha ha. The censorate is secretly investigating the backing behind Qian Youde. Local officials, do not act rashly. I intend to catch a big fish, as you command also. On the street where I am staying, investigate the background of every single person. Investigate the street where His Highness is staying. Don't ask, just do it. Shopkeeper, Lin, even keeps pigeons. How strange. 3-day countdown. The poor people on this street each activated their own hidden strengths. Qian Youde has no idea that he has provoked the most dangerous street in the world. Haha. This bully not only came to collect protection money, and he dares to order me to pour tea. Don't even think about me pouring it. Little girl, you should take a rest. You poor wretches, just you wait, hump. Young man, if your stomach is weak, you should eat less greasy food. Ha 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 ha. What is written here, prevent, never, is the smuggling chain I've been tracking for half a year. How could he know? Prevent, never to the checkpoint. Anyway, this paper has already been used. Brother Aching, would you like to wipe your hands? Place names, dates, types of goods. The smuggling chain is finally complete. So it was all here. Shopkeeper, Lin of the general store. Who exactly are you? Heh. My brothers from back home came to help move some goods. I can't help but feel that the way they're standing looks like a military formation. Groupa, form up. Oh no. Why did he shout a military camp command? Hey, I said stack the piles and load them up. It is just a work chant from back home for moving things. Stack the piles and load them up. That is a pretty lame excuse. No matter how you look at it, this formation is suspicious. Tonight, I'm scheduled to patrol with the straw sandal seller to guard against thugs. But this straw sandal seller has such a steady stance. And why does this hunter walk like an imperial guard? The way these two walk is exactly like the city guard I saw last time. Strange, very strange. Countdown final day. Tomorrow Qian Youde will come in person. Today is the final deadline. Let's see where you can hide now. You brat, stop playing dumb. You. This is too much. This is everyone's hard work. Heh. Why don't you get lost already? You touched her. I'm just strong, that is all. He said he is just strong. But in that moment, everyone on this street knew in their hearts that he was definitely not just that. The strength you showed today doesn't look like a common hunter's. I've trained. Keep making up stories. What poor hunter has such refined skills? Fine, don't tell me. No matter who you are. Thank you. This sincerity of yours. I, the prince, will ensure your safety. I said it before. Your tea stall won't be smashed. Your backer, Vice Minister of Works Zheng Tong, is already in prison. Qian Youde. Let's see how much longer you can live. The evidence chain for the smuggling case is complete. We can close the net. Qian Youde's 3 years of salt and iron smuggling records are all here. This line must be cut. When that bully comes tomorrow, I'll risk my life before I let him smash it. My shop. Passed down by my father. I cannot lose it. This night is destined to be long. Tomorrow no one's identity will be a secret anymore. Before sunset today, if you don't hand over the shop, it'll all be smashed. And don't expect to get off easy, Hempeish. Ha ha ha, I am acting under official orders. If you unruly commoners dare to resist, this is my shop. Passed down by my father. No one is allowed to smash it. A mere pancake seller dares to block my path. Are you even worthy? "3 months of playing poor, time to show our true colors." You aren't a straw sandal seller? Gu Changfeng, heir to the Marquis of Zhenbei. Say that again, you pauper. Sigh, I'm too old to be worrying about such things. Ah, this is the secret technique of head physician Su of the Imperial Academy. You are the elder Madam Su? Enough, stop shouting. I just wanted to retire and relax. What evidence do you have of smuggling? Master Qian, smuggling salt and iron for 3 years, evading 473,212 taels in taxes. I haven't miscalculated that figure, have I? None of you can touch me. I have powerful backing. Qian Youde, your backing is Zhengtong, the Vice Minister of Works. The Supreme Court already has all the evidence. I am Shu Qing, Junior Minister of the Supreme Court. Your protector was thrown into the Imperial prison this morning. He can speak? Even if you are from the Supreme Court, without an official decree from above, why should I listen to you? What kind of decree do you need? Is my word not enough? No wonder that appearance. So you were faking it too? Likewise. The legitimate daughter of Minister Shen. When did you find out? I knew from the first day I saw you hold a tea cake with that orchid finger gesture. Then why did you keep up the act? Because the tea you brewed was excellent. So I'm the only one here who actually sells steamed buns. Uncle Wang, your steamed buns are the only authentic thing on this street. So that wild hunter from the outskirts is the Crown Prince. I've been calling the Crown Prince a street ruffian for 3 months. Minister Shen, rest assured, I will treat your daughter well. Your Highness, I beg you, stop using that accent. Gi Changfeng has returned to the northern frontier. He sent some straw sandals claiming they're a new design. They are still clearly quite ugly. I've returned to the Imperial Academy of Medicine, but every few days, I still run out to the outskirts to have tea with Uncle Wang. Oh dear, how did I mess up the accounts again? This is the only donkey on the Supreme Court's payroll after all. Those people, they played the part of being poor so convincingly, yet every single one of them had such high status. Haha. But life is truly good. You spent 3 months at this stall drinking the terrible tea I brewed. What exactly were you after? I was after the way you'd sneak glances at me while pouring the tea. Weren't you busy chopping wood back then? How did you know I was sneaking glances? I was peeking at you too. Everyone on this street is pretending to be poor. The only things that are truly genuine are Uncle Wang's flatbreads and the sincerity between us.